Welcome back, everyone. We're doing a deep dive today, all about marketing, and we're going to be looking at it through the lens of Seth Godin's book, This Is Marketing.
Well, that's a good one.
It is. It's a good one. And we're going to unpack his idea about, really moving away from those manipulative mass market tactics
Yeah.
and really, how to connect with people on a much deeper level.
Yeah. Godin, he kind of flips the script on how we think about marketing.
Yeah,
He doesn't see it as just about selling stuff.
right.
He sees it as creating change.
Yeah.
And he makes the point that to do that effectively, you have to understand people,
Uh-huh.
their desires, their worldview, the changes that they crave.
Yeah.
And only then can you truly offer them a solution that resonates.
I really liked I think it was the dog food example
Okay.
that he gave,
Yeah.
where he was saying, that dog food isn't really marketed to dogs, right? That's marketed to the owners.
Right.
The owners are the ones with the emotional connection,
Hmm.
the ones who want to give their furry friend the best. So you're not just selling nutrition, you're selling love, you're selling care.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about all those products out there that are kind of playing on our emotions in a way.
Absolutely. And Godin, he really highlights that we rarely make decisions based purely on logic
Yeah.
or utility,
Yeah.
even for major purchases. Like think about how a luxury car is marketed versus a bottle of gum,
Right.
right? One taps into emotions and aspirations.
Yeah.
The other one's just like a simple need.
Utility.
Yeah. So the key takeaway here is to understand those emotional drivers of your audience.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? I mean, Godin talks about finding your smallest viable audience.
Yeah.
But what does that even look like in practice?
Well, instead of trying to appeal to everyone, think of it like this.
Okay.
You're creating a very detailed profile of your ideal customer.
Okay.
What are their specific needs, their desires, their pain points? And once you have that really crystal clear picture of who you're talking to, then you can tailor your message so that it resonates really deeply with that specific group.
Got it. It reminds me of another concept that he brought up. People like us do things like this, right?
Yes.
It's like diving into how we all want to belong.
Yeah,
And that plays such a huge role in all the choices we make.
absolutely. We often gravitate towards groups and brands that reinforce our sense of self.
Uh-huh.
So think about it this way. How do you pick a restaurant?
Yeah,
How do you even pick your first car?
right.
It often has way less to do with practical considerations and more to do with aligning with a group that we identify with.
Right, like it says something about us. And
Exactly.
he gave the example of The Great Comet,
Oh, yeah.
the musical.
Right.
That became such a huge success, and they didn't use traditional Broadway marketing.
Right.
Relied on this really devoted fan base
Yeah.
that really felt connected.
Yeah, they felt seen, they felt heard, they were part of it.
Exactly.
And that's a prime example of the power of creating that sense of belonging
Yes.
and shared experience. When you tap into that, you don't just have customers, you have a community, you have a tribe.
Yes.
You have people who are really invested in what you're doing.
So building trust is super important, but he also mentions this concept of tension
Yeah.
as kind of a driving force for action.
Right.
I'm curious to explore that a little bit further. What did you make of that?
Well, Godin argues that, yes, while trust is essential, a little bit of tension, a sense of urgency,
Yeah.
can be a really powerful motivator.
It's like those going out of business sales, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They always work, right?
They always work.
Because there's that fear of missing out if you don't act now.
Exactly. Scarcity and limited availability can really push people to make a decision.
Yeah,
It's a little bit counterintuitive,
right.
but it's a great example of how tension can be used effectively.
Another thing that I thought was really interesting was his whole analysis of status.
Okay.
He even had that little anecdote about Baxter,
Oh, yeah.
his dog,
Right. Who hates the other dog?
just because of status.
Just because of status.
It's so funny.
It is funny, but it illustrates a very deep truth about human behavior. We're constantly navigating those status dynamics,
Yeah.
even subconsciously. We seek to elevate our status,
Uh-huh.
sometimes by aligning ourselves with certain brands or groups.
Okay. So how do we actually use that knowledge in marketing?
Well, understanding these very subtle ways that we seek or avoid status, it can help us create offers that resonate deeply.
Okay.
For example, by highlighting how a product can enhance someone's perceived status within a specific group.
Right. It's like how we choose our clothes or our car, or
Exactly.
even like where we go on vacation, we're always sending signals.
Absolutely. And effective marketing is about understanding and tapping into those signals.
Mm.
And a great example of this is the work of Dr. Leela Haza in Kenya.
Okay.
She actually managed to save lions
What?
by understanding the status dynamics of the Maasai warrior culture.
Wait, how does she do that?
Well, she realized that for the Maasai warriors, killing lions was a symbol of high status.
Oh, wow.
So instead of fighting against that cultural norm, she worked with the community to introduce a new rite of passage focused on protecting lions.
Wow.
This effectively shifted the status symbol, so now lion conservation is the new mark of prestige.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
It shows how understanding like those cultural nuances can make a real difference. So it seems like Godin is really advocating for this more nuanced approach to marketing.
Absolutely. And a big part of that is this idea of permission marketing.
Okay.
It's about moving away from interrupting and bombarding people with messages they don't want.
Right.
It's about earning the privilege to communicate with people who are genuinely interested in what you have to offer.
This one really hit home for me, I gotta say. Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're all so bombarded with ads and marketing messages these days. It's so refreshing to hear someone advocating for a more, respectful approach.
Absolutely. And Godin's own company, Yoyodyne, is a perfect example of this in action. They achieved incredibly high email open and response rates, like 1,000 times higher than the industry average.
Wow.
And they did it by focusing on permission and delivering valuable content that people actually wanted to read.
Okay, so that's the key, right? Delivering value.
Yeah.
But how do we as individuals or businesses
Yeah.
actually build that, permission asset?
Yeah.
How do we cultivate an audience that trusts us and welcomes our message?
Well, it starts with understanding your audience deeply
Uh-huh.
and offering them something that's unique and relevant and valuable.
Okay.
It's about building trust through consistency and transparency and genuine connection.
Right.
It's about showing up authentically and building a relationship based on mutual respect.
It's like building a real friendship
Exactly.
where both parties feel valued and respected. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the foundation of truly effective marketing.
So we've been talking about building that trust and, permission.
Yeah.
But how do we actually make sure that, our message is actually resonating with people?
Well, that goes back to Gozen's point about, people like us do things like this.
Right.
When you understand the cultural norms and the values of your audience, you can craft messages that speak directly to their worldview.
Right. It's not about manipulation. It's about, really understanding them and making a genuine connection. Right.
Exactly.
And creating something that aligns with, their aspirations.
Right. But it also requires us to have a deep understanding of our own biases and assumptions.
Uh-huh.
Godin challenges us to step outside of our own worldview
Yeah.
and actually try to, put ourselves in the shoes of someone who might not choose our product or service.
Right. So trying to understand, why would someone choose a competitor's product over ours, right?
Exactly. What are their motivations?
Right.
What are their pain points? It's a powerful exercise to help us avoid thinking that our way is the only way or the right way.
Yeah.
Because everyone makes choices based on their own unique experiences and beliefs.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And as marketers, our job is to acknowledge those differences.
Right.
And tailor our message accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
I love that quote that he says. He's like, people don't want what you make. They want what it will do for them.
That's so true.
So we need to focus on those emotional benefits, the transformation, the change that our product or service can bring.
Right. And to do that effectively, we also need to understand the role of status.
Right.
Even in seemingly simple choices. For instance, buying a car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's more than just transportation.
Exactly.
It's a status symbol,
Yeah, it's a way of signaling our identity and place in the world.
Right.
And understanding these subtle status cues
Mhm.
can help us create marketing messages that really tap into these deep-seated desires.
Yeah. But Godin also reminds us that status is, in the eye of the beholder, right?
Of course, yeah.
What's high status for one group might be totally irrelevant for another.
Right, exactly. And that's why understanding your smallest viable audience is so crucial.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
We need to tailor our messages to the specific values and aspirations of our target audience.
It's about finding that, niche group who truly resonates with our message and building like a tribe,
A
right?
tribe of loyal fans,
Yeah.
yeah, who then become our advocates.
Exactly. And that brings us to, the whole idea of consistency and frequency.
Right.
Godin talks about like showing up consistently even when it feels like no one is listening.
Yeah.
I think that's a challenge for a lot of us,
Oh, absolutely.
especially in the age of social media where we're always tempted to just jump from one shiny object to the next.
Yeah.
But trust is built over time.
Over time, exactly
Through
right.
repeated interactions and consistently delivering value.
It's about being that reliable presence in a world of noise and distraction.
It's like building any skill or any habit.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Absolutely.
Those small, consistent efforts really do compound over time.
And Godin actually connects frequency and trust in a fascinating way.
Uh-huh.
He argues that the market has been trained to associate frequency with trust.
It's true. Think about like the brands you trust most.
Yeah.
They're probably the ones you see and hear from most often, the
Right.
ones who are consistently delivering on their promises.
Right. And in today's crowded marketplace,
Yeah.
if you're not consistently showing up, you'll be forgotten. You need to be the signal, not the noise.
Yeah, he also talks about, the power of storytelling.
Yes.
Using narratives that resonate with our audience's worldview.
Oh, for sure. And a great example he uses is Stu Leonard's, which is this supermarket.
Okay.
That became incredibly successful
Uh-huh.
by creating this unique and memorable customer experience. Think amusement park meets grocery shopping, with amazing customer service, engaging stories woven throughout the store.
Sounds like they really understood their audience.
They did. And they created an experience that went way beyond just buying groceries.
Right.
They built a community, a tribe of loyal customers.
Yeah.
But then when a new generation of owners took over and started focusing more on profits and less on the customer experience,
Oh, no.
the crowds dwindled and the magic faded.
It's a cautionary tale.
It is.
So what can we learn from that? How do we create a sustainable brand that like continues to resonate even as the market changes?
It comes down to a few key principles.
Okay.
First, understanding your audience deeply, their worldviews, their desires, their pain points.
Got it.
Second, crafting a brand promise that aligns with those needs.
Okay.
And third, consistently delivering on that promise.
Yeah.
Building trust and loyalty with every interaction.
Yeah. We also have to be willing to like adapt and evolve
Of course.
as the market changes.
Yeah.
Without losing sight of our core values.
Absolutely. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah, definitely.
Godin also highlights the power of what's called the network effect
Okay.
and how it can actually make your product or service more valuable the more people use it.
Oh, it's like that snowball effect, right?
Exactly. The
Yeah.
more people roll with it, the bigger it gets.
Yeah, think about like social media platforms.
Yeah, that's a great
The
example.
more people join.
The more valuable they become for everyone.
Exactly, yeah.
So how do we create that kind of network effect?
Right.
It starts with creating something remarkable,
Uh-huh.
something that solves a real problem and has that inherent shareability. Make it easy for people to spread the word and invite their friends.
It's about creating like a movement, right?
Yes.
A groundswell of support that kind of propels your brand forward.
Exactly. He also emphasizes something called customer traction, particularly for startups.
Okay.
Focus on how many people are actually using your product or service, rather than vanity metrics, like website traffic or social media followers.
Right, so it's about like real engagement.
Real engagement, exactly, not just empty numbers.
Right.
Build something people love and rely on, and then create a system that encourages them to tell others.
Mm.
Go beyond just being seen and aim for being truly embraced.
I love that. Speaking of kind of the customer journey, Godin uses this visual metaphor of a funnel.
Yeah, the funnel.
Can you explain like how that works?
Sure. Imagine a funnel
Okay.
with a wide opening at the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Representing like that initial awareness stage.
Okay.
And then it narrows to a spout at the bottom, representing the final purchase stage.
Right.
So as people move through this funnel, they're progressing through different stages of engagement,
Got it.
from initial interest
Yeah.
to consideration to decision.
But he also points out like that most funnels are leaky, right?
Right, yeah, they're leaky. People drop out at various stages.
Mhm.
And as marketers, our job is to understand where those leaks are happening and plug them.
Okay.
Create a seamless and engaging experience that guides people towards that desired outcome.
So how do we optimize that funnel?
Well, Godin stresses clarity, consistency, and building trust at every stage.
Huh.
But he also emphasizes understanding the lifetime value of a customer.
Right.
It's not just about making the initial sale. It's about building a relationship,
Yeah.
nurturing that customer, encouraging repeat purchases, and those valuable word-of-mouth referrals.
So the customer journey isn't just this like one-time transaction. It's
Yeah.
a long-term relationship.
It is a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
and we need to tailor our marketing efforts to the different stages of that funnel.
Yeah.
He also talks about the difference between brand marketing and direct marketing.
Oh, that's something I've always like found a little confusing.
Yeah, it can be.
Can you break it down for me?
Sure. Brand marketing builds awareness and creates positive cultural associations,
Yeah.
while direct marketing drives immediate action, like a purchase or a sign-up.
Got it.
Think of brand marketing as the long game.
Okay.
Direct marketing is the short game.
So how do we know which approach is right for us?
Well, it depends on your goals, your target audience, and your budget.
Okay.
Brand marketing is often more expensive and takes longer to see results,
Mm-hmm.
but it's incredibly powerful for building long-term brand equity.
Okay.
Direct marketing is great for immediate results, but it may be less effective at building that lasting loyalty.
Got it. So knowing when to use each one is like crucial.
It is, yeah. He also mentions some tactics for online direct marketing, like Facebook ads and Google ads,
Yeah.
but he stresses the importance of measuring your results very carefully.
Great.
Understand the cost per click and the conversion rate of your ads. Don't just throw money at them. Track your results and make sure you're getting a return on your investment.
Yeah, we have to be smart about it.
We do. It's not just about blasting your message everywhere. We need to understand the psychology of online advertising
Uh-huh.
and create compelling ad copy that resonates without being too pushy.
Right.
You know, Godin actually challenges the traditional notion of search engine optimization.
Okay.
And he argues that it's more important to build a brand that people actively seek out,
Right.
rather than trying to game the system with, like, generic keywords.
Yeah.
So instead of being everything to everyone, be something special to a smaller group.
I love that.
Build a brand with a unique voice, a clear purpose, a loyal following,
Uh-huh.
a brand that people love and trust enough to search for by name.
Right. So it's about building a brand that people choose.
Choose. Yes.
Not one that they like accidentally stumble upon, right?
That's it.
And that requires a very different approach to marketing.
It does. It's about building genuine connections, creating valuable content, and earning the trust of your audience.
Another interesting point that he makes is about the role of price in marketing. It's more than just a number. It's a signal of value.
Think about it. A high price often signals high quality, exclusivity, status.
Right.
A low price might signal affordability, accessibility, value for money.
Mm-hmm.
We need to choose a price that aligns with our brand promise
Right.
and the perceived value of what we're offering.
And be aware of like how the price is going to affect the buyer's psychology, right?
Absolutely. Sometimes a higher price can actually make a product more desirable
Yeah.
because it creates that sense of exclusivity and scarcity.
It's like that old saying, you get what you pay for.
Exactly. We need to understand how to use price strategically
Yeah.
to create the right perception of value.
Right. He also encourages us to like think about the role of free in our marketing efforts.
Oh, yes.
It can be a powerful tool, right?
It can. It can be a powerful tool to build awareness,
Uh-huh.
to generate leads,
Yeah.
and to create that sense of reciprocity.
But he cautions like against giving away too much for free because it can devalue your product or service.
Right. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
We need to find ways to offer value without undervaluing our work.
Right. So like offering a free sample chapter of your book or a free trial of your software.
Right.
Give them a taste, but don't give away the whole farm.
Right. Exactly.
It's also about like creating that sense of obligation, right?
Right.
If someone gives us something for free, we're more likely to want to give something back.
Exactly. And that reciprocity can be a powerful tool
Yeah.
for building relationships and ultimately driving sales.
We also need to consider the importance of like building trust and reducing risk, right?
Yeah.
Especially for like bigger purchases, people are more likely to buy from someone they trust.
Right. So how do we build that trust?
Yeah.
It's about being transparent, authentic, consistent.
Yeah.
It's about exceeding expectations and showing people you care.
He uses the example of FedEx with
Yeah.
their like reputation for on-time delivery.
Oh, yeah. They build trust over time.
They consistently deliver on their promises.
Right. And it's about being responsive to customer feedback,
Yeah.
addressing concerns quickly and fairly,
Mm.
building a culture of trust within your organization.
He also provides some interesting insights into like leadership and how to build a high-performing team.
Yeah.
And he believes that like the best leaders empower their teams, encourage collaboration, and create a culture of trust and respect.
Right. It's about clear communication, setting clear expectations, providing regular feedback.
It's about creating an environment where people feel valued
Yes.
and inspired to do their best work.
Absolutely. And, all of this ties back to Godin's overall challenge of, these traditional marketing approaches that rely on manipulation and hype.
Right.
He's advocating for authenticity, transparency, generosity.
Yeah.
Create something truly valuable and share it with the world.
I love that.
He uses this great analogy. He says, your work is a tree.
Okay.
The roots live in the soil of dreams and desires. Not the dreams and desires of everyone,
Right.
but of the people you seek to serve.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful way to think about marketing.
It really is.
Yeah. He also shares insights into the psychology of persuasion,
Okay.
talking about the importance of understanding people's biases, framing your message effectively,
Yeah.
creating that sense of urgency.
Yeah, he emphasizes storytelling, right?
Right.
Using narratives that resonate with your audience's worldview and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. And he also reminds us that people are much more likely to be persuaded by someone they trust and like.
Right. It's not about tricking people.
No.
It's about building those relationships.
Yeah.
Creating value.
Yeah.
Earning the privilege to communicate.
Exactly. And that brings us back to permission marketing, right?
Right.
Building
Yeah.
that audience that trusts you
Yeah.
and values your message.
It's about creating a community, a tribe of like-minded individuals who share your vision.
Yes.
And he offers some like specific tactics for building that permission asset.
Yeah.
Offering valuable content in exchange for email addresses or creating a subscription service.
Right. But always remember the importance of consistently delivering value and respecting people's time and attention.
Yeah.
Don't spam them.
Right.
It's about building that relationship of trust and reciprocity.
It's about seeing your audience as like partners, not just targets.
Exactly.
And creating a marketing strategy that's not just effective, but ethical and sustainable.
He also talks about the importance of shipping your work, even when it's not perfect.
Right. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Exactly. It's better to get your work out there and then iterate based on feedback than to wait for that perfect moment.
Right.
That might never come.
Yeah. It's about embracing the like messy process of creation and being willing to learn and adapt. Trust your audience to help make your work better.
And he shares some very inspiring stories of people making a difference in the world through their work.
Yeah. It's about finding your purpose, pursuing your passions, making a contribution that matters.
And he reminds us that marketing is about more than just selling.
Yeah.
It's about making a difference.
It's about connecting with people, solving problems, and creating something that makes the world a better place.
Exactly.
And he leaves us with a really powerful thought.
Okay.
He says, everyone is famous to 1,500 people.
Oh, yeah.
What can you do with that microfame?
It's a call to action, right?
Yeah.
How can you leverage your influence to make a difference in your own sphere?
Yeah, what change do you want to see?
What tribe will you build?
What story will you tell? Yeah, it's inspiring to think that we all have a platform.
We do.
Even if it's small.
Yeah.
You know, we can use it to share our ideas, our passions, our vision for a better world.
And we can find and connect with those who share our values and our desire for change. Godin talks about organizing and leading a tribe.
Yes.
It's about finding your people and creating a space where they can connect, collaborate, and make a difference together.
And he gives some like great examples of tribes in action.
Oh, yeah, like the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
You know, they built this massive following by focusing on their core fans.
Yeah.
Creating a sense of community.
They didn't try to please everyone.
They didn't. They stayed true to their unique sound and their values.
Yeah.
And they cultivated a tribe of loyal fans who loved them for it.
Right.
It's a great example of the power of authenticity.
Yeah.
People can spot a fake a mile away.
Oh, for sure.
It's so important to be genuine and true to yourself.
Right. Your tribe will resonate with that.
They will. It's about being true to your values and your vision. It's about connecting with people who get you and what you stand for.
And it's about building relationships.
Yeah.
Not just transactions.
Not just transactions.
Yeah.
Godin talks about the importance of what he calls emotional labor.
Okay.
It's about putting in the effort to connect with people on a human level, to understand their needs and their desires,
Right.
and to offer them something that truly makes a difference in their lives.
It's about going beyond a superficial,
Yeah.
creating something with, like, real meaning.
Real meaning and impact.
Yeah, impact.
Yeah.
He also really emphasizes, like, the why behind our work.
Oh, the why is so important. He asks, what's it for?
Yeah.
That's the posture of work that matters.
It's about having a clear purpose,
Yeah.
a reason for being. That's bigger than just profits, right?
And it's important to acknowledge that making change is hard.
It is.
It can be messy. It can be uncomfortable.
Right. But the rewards are incredible.
The rewards are incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
The world is constantly changing, and we have to adapt and evolve, or we get left behind.
He also talks about the importance of generosity,
Yeah.
not just with our money, but our time, our energy, our ideas.
Right. It's about giving back to the community,
Yeah.
supporting causes we believe in, and helping others succeed.
And it's about recognizing that, like, we're all in this together, right?
We are.
We need to support each other,
Absolutely.
collaborate, work together to create a better world.
He even shares this story about how he refused to help someone who was only interested in making money,
Oh,
not in making a difference.
that really shows his values, right?
It does.
It's not just about success. It's
Right.
about making, like, a meaningful contribution.
He also emphasizes building sustainable businesses that are both profitable and ethical.
He challenges that whole idea of growth at all costs.
He does.
He argues that, like, we need to find a balance
It's a balance, yeah.
between profitability and purpose.
It's about creating a business that's good for the world, not just the bottom line.
Right, because our work has a ripple effect.
It does.
It impacts not just ourselves, but our family,
Our community.
the world around us, yeah.
And he encourages lifelong learning.
Oh, absolutely.
He says, always be seeking, connecting, solving, asserting, believing, seeing, and yes, testing.
It's about staying curious, challenging assumptions, being open to new ideas.
Step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah,
Experiment and never stop learning and growing.
yeah.
He also reminds us that failure is part of the process.
Oh, it is.
It's an opportunity to learn and adapt and get better.
So let's recap some key takeaways from This Is Marketing.
Okay?
We talked about empathy,
Yes.
understanding your audience, building genuine connections.
Right.
We explored finding your smallest viable audience, creating a tribe of loyal fans.
We talked about the role of status and tension in driving action, the importance of permission marketing,
Yeah, we covered the power of storytelling, the difference between brand marketing and direct marketing.
and the importance of optimizing the customer journey.
And most importantly, I think, we talked about our responsibility as marketers, right?
Yeah.
To use our skills and our influence for good, to make the world a more human-centric, empathetic place. Godin leaves us with this question. He says, everyone is famous to 1,500 people.
A very powerful thought.
It is. It is. How can you leverage that microfame to make a difference in your own sphere? What change do you want to see in the world? What tribe will you build?
What story will you tell?
I encourage you to explore. This is Marketing Further.
You will find a wealth of insights and inspiration to help you create work that truly matters.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making a difference.